Shut up and sit down.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome, fellow bags of mostly water. I am Kitecraft, the happy hobbyer. Today, I will be yours to take you through an ESP32 project I've been building called HardSense. You can see on these little side windows I've got going over here. There they are. I'll give you a closer look at that. This is my second stream, and you'll have to pardon me a little bit. I am seem to be catching a cold that at the beginning of it, I caught it yesterday, but it's getting better. I took some Benylin. Anyways, I'm going to be working on this project today. If you look in the top window right over there, this is this is HardSense. This is the ESP side of it. There's a microcontroller there, which is, I'll give you some details of that in a second, along with a little bit of a monitor, a little display. It's a very cool one, and I'll give you some closer details of that in a moment. The middle window down here. Point at it. Hi, how are you? That window is a little bit of a to scale. I want to show you just kind of what the scale is that I'm actually working on here. If I reach behind, you can see my hand that enters the picture, and you can hopefully get a better idea of the actual sizes of this stuff that I'll be working with, so that you can kind of see what's going on. And of course, I've got my helper, and then of course down below some additional information if you'd like, and I'll tell you what's going on. So. Welcome. I am again Kitecraft, the happy hobbyer, and we are going to be looking at HardSense. This is a two-part project. The part I'm working on today is a standalone box that will sit on my desk, or your desk, or anybody's desk, and it has a little display, a little monitor on it, and it's going to be displaying information about my computer. All the internal information, basic stuff like the CPU load, percentage, the core temperatures that it might be running at, some even more detailed information including the amount of power it's using in wattage. It can also access information or display information about my video cards, the CPU or the GPU temperatures and speeds. It can access information about frame rates of games, and there's a lot more information, and you can see it kind of running here, right there, and we're going to talk more about that, and this is what I'm working on. The other side of it is a Windows application, which actually is the hardware monitor itself. The Windows application is actually monitors all of those internal sensors and sets up a memory mapped file that is then updated 4 times a second. It also creates a TCP server that these clients can connect to and request data to be streamed to it. And each one of these TCP clients will be spawned off in its own thread and is able to access that memory map file. But it is speed limited also to only 4 updates a second. We don't need to go faster than that. Trust me, that really is the top speed you want to go to. So I've throttled it all so that even if there's multiple clients, a small system like mine, can handle the load. But the best part of this is now the clients. So we have this open TCP server that's really easy to use and access and very simple. And we can go ahead and use this little microcontroller over here. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a better look at it right there. Voila. And we're actually using this microcontroller, which has Wi-Fi in it, connecting to a Wi-Fi network, which is accessing my computer, which is not on Wi-Fi, but it's wired. So we've got all of that happening, and it's requesting data from the server, and it's streaming it and displaying it in various parts on this little monitor screen. Now, I'm doing the best I can with cameras. I don't know how well this actually looks in the stream on your own monitor. I really hope the colors at least come across. I haven't set up any lighting, PWM lighting LED brightness control on this display yet. I actually forgot about that until this morning. I realized when I was setting up the lights, it's like, oh no, that's why I'm having this problem. Anyways, this actually is capable of displaying quite a bit of information that's being streamed. However, a lot of it's hard-coded, and the project we're building on today is just going to add one final screen, and then we're going to actually be done with phase A of the software development for this, and the next phase will actually be creating the circuit boards that we're going to connect all of this to so that I can put it into a box, which will be the third phase. We're going to use Fusion 360 to design the hardware box that it's going to fit into. Now, if you look in this window over here, you see this little box that I'm touching. The final product will actually end up in about a box this size. Yeah. We can get a better look at it. This is another example of a 3D printed box. I'm going to switch over to this camera because I'm not on the right camera. I'm really sorry about that. I wasn't even on the right camera again. A little new to what's going on here. You can see this box that I'm holding up in my hand. This is the approximate size of what the final HardSense project will be mounted into. It'll be a little wider than this, about the same height, but you get the idea. And that'll be the final phase that we'll do, and I'll be able to build in a few more days. It'll maybe even it'll be about this size right here. Back to my live cam. There we go. Transition. There. Try and make that. Hopefully that'll be a little bit easier and I won't make as many mistakes. So what we're going to do today is I'm actually going to be adding a new screen. Well, first of all, I'm going to finish where I left off yesterday. In my very first stream of trying to do any of this was yesterday. So we're going to continue off and just show you the little Bluetooth configuration screen that I added to the system. But I guess first, let's just take a quick little tour for you new viewers, and we'll have a look at exactly what it is we're building. So we'll go to an overhead. Now, an ESP32 is a little microcontroller. This little microcontroller has dual core running at 240 megahertz. Now, I do believe in my stream yesterday I kept saying 256. Sorry, I misspoke. It's 240, and we'll double check that in a minute. But it's a neat little thing because it's basically a dual core, so two cores. It has Wi-Fi, and it has Bluetooth, and it has USB, and it has all of these pins. So it's connecting to a Wi-Fi network, and then it's displaying all of this information right onto that screen. Let me use this, actually. There we go. So up here we have our little CPU information, its current load, and its temperature. This is my GPU information, just some at-a-glance information, including its temperature. Current date and time. We also have our network. I love this one. This is a very good one for me. Our up and down speed. It'll automatically switch between... Why am I downloading that speed? What the heck's going on with my computer? It shouldn't be doing that. Why is it doing that? Hang on a sec. Why is it downloading at 14 megabytes a second? And I'm checking it with other monitors, and they're all lighting up. It's not just me. This is real. These are real numbers. Something on my computer is downloading at a ridiculous rate, and that wouldn't be my streaming software, would it? At that rate? I just need to double check something here. I'm sorry. Oh, there we go. Let's take this over here. Where is it? Performance. Open the resource monitor. Is it Chrome? There's other stuff happening? Oh, okay, well. Wow, I don't know what's going on there with my download speed. 20. I guess it is. Well, okay, I just have to go with it. I don't know what's happening there. Oh, of course. I do know what's happening there. I'm an idiot. See, this is how good some of these sensors are. It actually makes me wonder what's going on because I wouldn't have noticed that number any other way. Let's actually take a look at that.
Shut up and...
Sorry, wrong one. Let's have a look at that again. Wow. So you notice the download speed in my little net panel over there. And this is literally one of the reasons why I bought this. It's to make me find out what's going on with my computer. If you look at our net panel, you'll see the download speed is listing at 14 megabytes a second. And that really is, and I actually, because it threw me off, and this is why I did it, is so that it'll notify me of interesting things. For example, there's some cryptocurrency malwares that'll get onto your computer. And when they're running, they can actually hide themselves in Task Manager. So if you open Task Manager, you're wondering why your computer's running slow. You typically open Task Manager, but it doesn't show up there. And in fact, it's completely eradicated from its counting. So your computer might be running at 98% CPU, all of that going to this cryptocurrency malware that's running, mining all of this stupid-ass data, coins or whatever the hell it does, you know what I mean. But when you open Task Manager, it's really only showing 2% and 98% free because it's a neat trick. And that's actually one of the reasons why I started making this little system. Again, I really suck at this. I should have been talking to this screen all the time instead you were looking at my little display down there, but whatever. So that's why I actually made, one of the ideas why I made this system is, I've been drinking a lot of coffee, I'm sick, so I'm going really fast. Is that idea, it made me think, well, if I open Task Manager and it's not really giving me the right information, what is one of the ways I can get that information? And so I made my own little hardware monitor using the Open Hardware Monitor library. There's links to this in the description of this video. And it gives you access to the raw information. So this, even though some of these malwares might be able to hide from Task Manager, they can't hide from this. Now, what am I going on about? That 14 megabyte download. I've got 3 new cameras all streaming to my computer, which is then going into OBS, which is then uploading. So that download speed is actually correct because it's actually sucking in data from all of these different cameras. So yeah, there is in fact 14 megabytes download. If I were to turn off all of these other cameras, that would disappear. So sometimes I have to think about what's going on. Anyways, one of the other really cool things about this is a touchscreen. Whoops. Yeah, sorry, I was on the right screen for this. This is a touchscreen. So let me show you what's going on here. If I touch my GPS, my GPU, it'll pull up my GPU. This is what I call my game screen. So when I'm gaming, I want to have some specific information. Instead of having a generalized information like my home screen, you know, when I'm playing a game, I want to know about my graphics card, I want to know about my net speed, I want to know what my CPU, I want to know what my temperatures and fans are doing, and I want to know what my frame rate is. So I've designed a special screen that's just what I call my game screen, and it has a 90-second graph on there for fan and temperature. And if I were to start up a game that was intensive enough, we'd see our core and memory clocks jump up. The temperature would start to go up and the fan speeds, all based on the EVGA Precision X fan curves. But none of that's actually relevant. This is raw data that's being accessed through the underlying system. So whether you're using a Precision X or what's that other brand that's out there? Who are they? Not NVIDIA. They have a weird name. AMD? Do they make video cards? Anyways, if there are other video cards out there that aren't NVIDIA type, I'm sure this will work for them. I think. I really don't know. Anyways, okay, but you can see what's happening there. So this is giving me a lot of specific information. Now, on any screen that isn't the home screen, I can actually click the bottom right-hand corner, and that's my back screen, and I can go into my CPU, and this breaks down my CPU into all of its cores and things like that. So there's a lot of information going here. Now, yesterday, we went ahead and I built what's called my Bluetooth configuration screen. Sorry. I finished building the Bluetooth configuration screen. Now, if you look on this little button right over there, in the middle of the whole board, there's a little button right here, this little blue button. Now, in the final box that we built, and the final component that they're actually building for this little button will be a different button. It'll be hidden in the back. The idea is, if you're holding that button down, when the system starts, and you're holding that button down, it kicks it into Bluetooth configuration mode. So, now what it's doing is it's actually displaying information that it has stored locally. And this is the screen I built yesterday. The reason why it's red is I want to make sure I know that it's actually in Bluetooth configuration mode. Now the information we're seeing there is information that I put up yesterday. It's actually stored locally on a file system. Yeah, that's right. This actually has a file system in it. And this is a local configuration file. It is configured directly through the HardSense Windows 32 application. This runs as a tray application. This is pretty much a stub right now. This will actually be made out and be beautiful. There we go. It's this application right here. This is actually what sets up our hardware monitor as well as our TCP server. We go into settings, Bluetooth configurator. Now, this ESP32 is in fact connected to my computer through Bluetooth as a client. And now I'm going to connect to it with my application, which is basically now as a serial application. And there we go. It just connected to the ESP32, said, okay, give me whatever information you have. Give me your SSID, whatever you got stored. I want to know what it is. And it reported back saying, here's what I've got stored. And yes, that in fact matches the information that we have written on the display screen here. Now I can go ahead and update it and change it. I haven't actually tested any of this yet. All I've done so far since yesterday's stream was I cleaned up some code and added the new display here. Now there's no other additional information on this screen, so there's no touch screen. But we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to run a test, because I need to know that all of this whole new bit works, and I haven't actually tested any functionality beyond it being simply displayed.
Shut up!
Sorry, I need to figure out which buttons are which, and I'm doing this by myself, and I'm a bit sick, and I'm going to hit the wrong buttons. Anyways, yeah, I'm Kitecraft. Welcome to my stream, y'all. We are going to do some ESP. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of background information. We're going to hop into it in just a minute. In the meantime, let's have a look at what's going on here. Back to my camera. So settings. Oh yeah, what I was going to do here, I want to disconnect from that. Now, oh, you see this up here? I've been holding this up 99 days. I have been smoke-free for 99 days. February 5th, November 5th, 2019 was my last day of smoking. I was literally a smoker for 35 years. And I have not had a cigarette in 99 days. So I'm just bragging about that because that's nobody else chats on here, so maybe that'll get somebody to say something. 99 days without a cigarette after literally 35 years. That's where the gray comes from. Anyways, let's close that. So, okay, what are we doing now? Gotta close this. Gotta catch up to where I am. Let me see what we're doing here. Now, this is an Arduino-based project. If you go to my GitHub page, which is linked in down below, you're going to see this, Kitecraft HardSense. This project is called HardSense, and when you go to the top level, you're going to see KiCad, which is down in the hardware directory and software. We go into there. There's broken down into two folders. There's the Windows application, which is, where'd it go? Oh, I closed it. It's this thing. This actually runs as a tray application, and it's inside this Windows folder. It is a Visual Studio project. Yeah, you'll be able to open it up and run it. It works well. It creates this. It's fun by itself, sure, but we're working inside the ESP32. Now, right now live, I'm working on branch 15, splash screen. So this is where I'm working right now. If you wanted to work along with me, this is the branch I'm in. It is, in fact, right now, it is identical to master, but everything I do from this point on will be checked into this branch. So I'll try and do some check-ins, and we'll actually be able to work along. But this is where it is. We can look at the top, Kitecraft HardSense. And, okay, so I've got a VS Code project here. If we were to open it up on its main folder, you're going to see inside ESP32, we got HardSenseESP. This is our Arduino project folder. I don't know why this JPEG is there. Whoops. There's a README, which I'm just going to eventually fill up with some documentation. And there, of course, there is the root INO file, which is this file right here. Now, I'm using VS Code, and I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to bitch and complain about it. I'm sorry about the language. I'm going to complain about it. I'm not thrilled with running VS Code and this Arduino bit. It has some serious lacking bits that are annoying me. I would normally use Visual Micro, which is a wonderful plugin for Visual Studio. However, they sort of recently changed the licensing, and they used to offer a free version that was sort of pared down and hobbled a bit, but it still offered some major advantages, which I really liked, and I was willing to, just go ahead and use it. But they recently changed their licensing, so now you have a 30-day trial, and that's it. And it's a 30-day trial of the full version, which is awesome with debugging and everything. It's awesome. But the license is about $26 to $27 Canadian now. And that's about $140 more than I can afford to spend. So I'm using VS Code, which is the free bits, with Arduino plugged in on top of it, and I'm very unhappy with it because its IntelliSense is not. It's giving me all sorts of weirdnesses. Compiling is ridiculously slow. Plus, I have to push the button on the ESP32 like every single time, whereas in Visual Micro I don't. So I'm going to complain a bit. I'm sorry about that. If you want me to stop complaining every time this thing compiles, down there way at the bottom, you can see I have a PayPal me and a Patreon account. I'm still trying to figure out this whole Patreon thing. So, whatever. I'm working on it. But I need to raise a bit of money so I can get some better cameras and work it on from there. But anyways, let's have a look at, if you're familiar with Arduino, this isn't a tutorial to get you started into ESPs and 32s or Arduinos. We expect you to already be there. So I've got the code for the Arduino. I'll just point out some interesting stuff about the ESP32. For example, this bit. This is where some of the magic happens. The ESP32 is a dual core, 240 megahertz. It has 2 cores. You think about your regular Arduino Uno, you know, I don't have one sitting around. I think the bear has one, or the moose has one. Single core, 16 megahertz, $20 or something. This thing right here, you see it down below where my finger is? Dual core, 240 megahertz with Wi-Fi, under $10. Head blown. I don't know how they do that. Anyways, this is how you take care of the magic. If you're familiar at all with Arduino, you know that your loop is where all your work happens. On a dual core, or ESP32, the loop runs on core 1. So now we have a whole free other core. And that's where this comes in. We actually just create a task, and we pin it to that core. And I called it TT Core Proc right here. If we scroll down and actually have a look at it, all it does is it uses the run method in my display handler. And if you look at that particular function, it's a while true loop. It never exits. So there you go. You now have 2 things happening. You have a display manager, which is handling all of the information off of the display down here, the 2.8-inch display, including touch. Not only putting information out, it handles the touch. The other core is basically doing just the serial communication. It's handling the Wi-Fi connection, or in this case right now, it's a Bluetooth connection. So right now it is in fact connected to this application. If I open this up, Bluetooth configurator, connect, boom. And we know it connected successfully because it actually pulled up the information. Any questions? I'm going to have a drink of coffee because I'm really hoarse. Okay. Now, yesterday was my very first stream at trying to do this. So I went ahead and I started building this whole nice little Bluetooth configuration screen. This screen is telling me what its internal settings are. Now, we're going to pop back to my desktop. ESP32, this microcontroller over here, and I'm going to keep gushing about it, like, seriously. I'm going to gush on and on. It's that little thing, top right corner with the big blue lights on it. This thing right here. I'm going to gush on and on about this thing. I keep talking about dual core. Dual core. I don't get paid by anybody, by the way. There's no endorsements. I'm just learning how to do this. I'm no expert. Disclaimer. I don't know anything about anything. Everything I've learned is just what I've learned. I teach myself about everything. I am no expert. If you know what you're doing and you look at this, you're going to think it's crap. I'm not going to argue with you. There's the really weird protocol that I wrote and I'm using. Basically, this is my sandbox. This is where I'm learning how to do a lot of this. Plus, I decided there's probably a lot of people in a lot of positions like me, so I want to show you some really neat stuff that you can do really easily. Anyways, here we go. I lost where I was. Oh yeah, I was gushing about my ESP32. I had to look at my notes. 240 megahertz Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. It has a file system. It's called SPIFFS. It has a built-in file system. If we look in our base project, I'm going to pull up my HardSense. We have our data folder. All of the files that are in this data folder are actually uploaded to the ESP32's SPIFFS. It's called SPIFFS. The SPI fast file system. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what it's something like that. Anyways. So these are actually uploaded. If we look at the hardsense.txt, this is the configuration file. SSID, password, server name, server port. They're just blank. So when we upload this to get it into the ESP32, this just sets up a default configuration file that the ESP32 project can then use. If we actually have a look at our serial object, remember I told you we have one side that's just doing display only, and the other core is doing all of the serial handling. If we go into our source folder, open up the serial object, you're going to see it has this little class in it called HardSense settings, which is our file system object. But this thing will actually contain, where is it? Chords, themes, screen types. Oh, it's in the other one. That's right. It's in here. This actually this is an object that we can use to interact with that file system to get our settings. This is my own little settings class. So we have our SSID, password, server name, and port. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this, do some testing on this display that I just made. So we're going to switch back here. I'm actually going to re-upload the fresh file system. So it's going to blank all of these settings. And then we're going to go ahead and use the Bluetooth configurator to reset all of this and make sure that the entire system is actually working as I expected, because it hasn't gone through a full test of anything yet. Now, brings me to my next complaining little bit about VS Code, and I'm sorry to complain a bit more about VS Code, but I spent like an hour and a half trying to figure this out this morning, but I can't find the place to upload. Here, in Arduino, slide this over. This is my project in the Arduino IDE. If we go to Tools, you'll see this ESP32 sketch data upload. If you're dealing with ESP32s, you know that's there. I can't find this anywhere in this visual code interface because this really weird interface. You go to F1 and you got stuff like this. You would think it's under board config, but it's not. I don't know where in VS Code it is. Now, normally, like I was saying, I love to use Visual Micro because Visual Micro actually just adds the same toolbar, as these really nice toolbars into your Visual Studio, and it's all right there. There's no mussing. It just works, but I can't find it anywhere. So I have to switch over to just your regular Arduino, and I'm going to go ahead and do the upload here, and that's going to wipe out the files that are already on there, give me a fresh system to start with. So where is it? Upload the data. Connecting. Now I got to push the button, and it's connecting. Now it's going to go ahead and upload all the files. Good, hard resetting. Now you notice it's back to, this is a configure, or the calibration. Because I blew away the entire file system and uploaded the fresh one, which only contains, where's my data folder? These are my font files. This is the configuration file. There's no calibration file anymore, so we have to actually go through and recalibrate the display. That's why it's displaying like this. Now this is pulled directly from Bodmer's ESP_TFT library. Links in below. This is right one of his calibrations and how it actually stores it to the file system. Again, just reusing classes that are already provided for us. So we've got to go ahead and touch all these corners to recalibrate my touch screen. Right there, right there, right there. All right, it's not catching the last one. Come on now. I think it wasn't quite plugged in. You know, sometimes I move it when I was touching it, and I think I screwed it up. So, oh, it took. You know what? I'm going to do that again. I sort of did a bad thing to it. So let's just go ahead and do that again. I'm going to re-upload those files. Oh, that was the wrong button. Go away. Go away. Go away. Take your time. Okay, upload. Do this again. Connecting. Push the button. So I got to blow away that calibration file again because I think I actually did a bad thing when I I reseeded it. Okay, so we're done. Let's go through this calibration again. And there we go. Okay, now it's seated properly. There. 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 Nope, wasn't. What the hell? Come on now. Whoops. Why isn't it touching on that corner? Oh, you suck. You know what I am going to do? I am going to cheat and just see what's going on. This is a different but same display. Let's get this plugged in. I can't see what's going on with this camera in the way. I think it's right there. Yeah. Do that again. Okay, that should be just in spin mode. I'm going to reboot it by holding the button. That should put me into Bluetooth configuration mode. And it does, and you can see that, yeah, okay. I think my, oh well, we'll have to find out in a minute. Sorry, I think I screwed something. Ooh, whoops. Let's go have a look at that again. All right. So now we can see that all our stuff is empty, but it is in fact still connected to the Bluetooth because I haven't changed the Bluetooth ID, and that still works. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop over to the desktop, go to this application, settings, Bluetooth configurator, connect. Now, there we go. And you can see now there is a bug there. That should just be empty. And I noticed the same bug on here. That should actually just be empty. But now I got to type in my SSID and my password, which I don't know what it is. So hang on a sec. Okay, STAR. But I don't know what my password is, so give me a minute. Sorry, I really should have had this bit ready, but I hide my password and I don't know what it is. There it is. This is a special guest network for my devices, you know, trying to keep things safe, but I still use weird ass passwords. So we'll type that in there, and then we hit update network. Now, if we actually look on the device over here, hope you can see what I'm doing. Why is it so blurry? Okay. So when I update this, this should update on the display as well. Oh, it worked. Yes! No! So close. Okay, I broke something. Okay, let's just reboot this and see what happens. I think, yeah, okay. I actually think I know what's going on there. So, let's go back into my code. I think I know what's going on there. We need to open up the HS serial object. Nope. Source, display handler, GUI. Where is my Bluetooth screen? Bluetooth configurator. Update. Set text color. Yeah, that should be. That should have worked just fine. Let's just do this. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Nope. Oh, I forgot to reconnect after I rebooted it. Okay. So that's right, but I'm going to just put in something else. A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D. Hit the update, and yeah, it goes all wonky when I hit the update. Why? Why did it go all wonky? Is it too fast? Let's just have a look at our serial object. There is a save function here. After it's saved it all, this should have finished. So yeah, it does the right settings, and then I do the update display, which is well right below it. Yeah. So that's, I know that's working right because it wouldn't work any other way. But it's the class itself that must have a bug in it somewhere. Let's go to the Bluetooth configurator. Just just looking at some code here. Let's see. Where's my update? Yeah, so it's just passing in the right stuff, but it's getting blown away, and it's just, let's see here. So that's not writing the right stuff. Why? Oh, I think I'm doing I'm doing a bad thing with the fonts. Yeah, I did a bad thing with fonts somewhere. Hang on. Draw time panel. Yeah. Yeah, I did a bad thing with the font somewhere. Somewhere I blew away the font. Just going to go back up to the top and see where I have the delete font lines. No. Scroll down to the bottom. What am I doing with fonts down here? I shouldn't have to worry about that, but I did do something wrong with the fonts. Font. Load font, yeah. Yeah, I'm doing that right. I shouldn't have to do that again. So that should be the only place, but I have to do a delete font. I think that's happening in the screen base. Where's my destructor here? Yeah, so anything that might be happening there is definitely being cleaned up. So there's a bug that I had a long time ago, so I made sure doing a full proper cleanup in the base class, so that's never a problem. Now, this is just my default text. If I ever see that, you know there's a problem. Oh man, I'm streaming the wrong damn thing again. I'm so sorry. I am such a horrible host. My sincere apologies for that. So I'm looking for a load font. So I'm pretty sure I'm doing something bad with fonts here to make that look like that. So I just removed an unnecessary load font line. Let's see if that fixes anything. Now we have to wait for the big unload or reload. While that's happening, let's close this. We'll pop over here. Interesting thing about these. This is the Node MCU that I'm using, and if you look at what I'm showing you, we'll pop over to here. You can see on the right, the main microcontroller is right there. This is basically the same thing, but it's got a slightly different pin out, different number of pins, different layout, but you can use it the exact same way. So I'm trying to make sure that all the pins work, but one of these is a Node MCU, one of them is a dev kit, or whatever, I don't really know. Like I said, I'm not an expert, but they do both work, so don't be afraid to use them both. It is kind of weird how that works. Let's go back to the desktop. I think I wasn't paying attention and I have to, yeah, everything worked, but let's do the upload. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention and I missed the upload window. Because it doesn't upload by itself and the stupid scroll always turns off and you always have to hit the button. So annoying. Move that back. So these little displays are wonderful. Here's one right here. It's in my hand. 2.8-inch touchscreen. And if you're using the ESP32, there's Bodmer's library, which is linked in the description of the video. It's also right here. Github, Bodmer, TFTE, SPI. It's a wonderful interface for using a variety of different displays. It is ridiculously fast, especially on the ESP32, which is what it's specifically designed to do. It's brutally fast. You can notice there's no, on all the screens I showed you, there was no flicker, except for that one graphic, the CPU breakdown screen, which I was working on yet. Are you going to load or what? Are you still verifying? What are you verifying? Oh, now I know what the problem is. I gotta plug the thing in. Oh my, all right. There we go. Now, there's a conduit for electrons to flow from here to there. This should work maybe nowadays. Who knows? I don't know. Let's find out. Let's go back here, push the button. So we're doing the whole process yet again and again. Oh boy. And it is so slow in VS Code. Come on now. Come on now, you can do it. So once it gets there, I have to push the button. That will load the new code, and then we can try this again. It takes so long to do. In Visual Micro, this is a much faster process. It's easier to make small changes, recompile, and upload without... I don't know why. I've got my build folder specified, but it's VS Code weirdness. Got to figure it all out. Still waiting for it to compile. Still compiling down here. Well, at the bottom. Taking its time. Taking its time. Come on now. There we go. Hey! What the hell? It actually connected by itself this time. Well, that's amazing. I didn't have to push the button. That's so wild. Now, it's going to spin. So the main purpose of why I was coming here today was to actually build this splash screen to handle this particular situation. But I do have to debug the code that I finished yesterday, so that's what we're working on. So what I got to do, if I press the button, when this thing boots up, when it boots up with this button pressed, it jumps into Bluetooth mode. And that's where I can see this screen. And now you can see the data there is correct. Now let's go back and we're going to connect to it again with the main program. I'm going to send a new data called EFGH. And we want to see that it doesn't do that. So something horrible is happening there. Why? Why do I have to do with the little damn font? I don't, why would it be doing that? Let's have a look here. So from the HS serial object, when it does the save, I know that's working. We know we verified that, but then it hits update display. So yeah, and we know that's working because it is actually triggering the reloads. So that's not the problem. The problem is here. Because that time panel is breaking, there's got to be some problem with the font. I don't know why. Why would it be doing that? I'm not messing with the font anywhere. Just looking for a place I could be screwing with the font, but I don't see it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Delete this writing, creating it, setting the text colors. Yeah, it's weird. So let us put, Let's just make sure it's actually reading the data right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a print line in here. Nope, I'm going to put a print in there. Serial. Serial.print. Just put that in there. I don't want password, but I do want, yeah. What's happening there? Yeah, that should just give me a clue as to what's going on. So I'm just going to do a bit of a, we'll go over here, we'll just connect to it, good enough. Connecting to Wi-Fi, yep, it's spinning. So let's go ahead and recompile this again. Just trying to keep an eye on what's happening down here, because I'm just wondering why on the refresh it's blowing that text away. I know it's working in every other way, but the actual display of the text on the update on the refresh is not working right. And the clock is working fine up until then too. There's no weirdness with the fonts on the font on the clock, not until the serial object explicitly calls a refresh on it. So something horrible is happening there. And it did a full reload, didn't it? Did it? Okay, come on now. Hurry up and compile. Thank you. Are you going to connect automatically? No, you're not. You teased me last time, didn't you? It did it twice in a row. Oh my God, don't touch it. Do not touch it. It actually did it twice in a row. Okay, good. Weird, but good. I'm happy. Now if only I can figure out where the SPIFFS system is. Okay, so just reboot this into, there we go. We'll get a close-up of that just to see what's happening. Text is okay. Pop over to here. Settings, Bluetooth. Connect to it. What are we up to? Ba ba bam bum bum bum. I'm gonna give you guys a clue here. If you're paying attention, here's clue number one. This is something I was going to do with Patreon subscribers. I'm just thinking how to do it. I haven't set it up, but this is going to be a clue. The SSID. What am I going to put in here? Troubleshoot. Okay. Now I'm going to do the update, and we'll keep an eye. On the screen down below. I can't point to the right thing. And we'll see, does it, I'm just going to zoom in. I'll just tell you when I push the button. And we'll see what happens here. Update. Yeah, and it just goes to crap. Why? What am I doing to the fonts? Okay, I just need to have a look at something. I'm going to have a look at, let's say, the game screen. I don't think this thing does anything weird with fonts. Yeah, load the font. Oh! Is that what I'm doing wrong? Yes, that is in fact what I'm doing wrong. I'm not actually loading my text printer. I'm just loading the TFT fonts, but not the text printer font. Whoops, that is not the right thing to use. So, for safety's sake with this library, whenever I do a load font, I don't know what's going on. I'm just going to do an unload there. It's probably not necessary, but it might be necessary. I'll look it up later. I just want to get this update working, but I think that was it. I wasn't actually loading my text printer spawn. Maybe. Seems unlikely. Let's try it. See, now this is, you want to make one change, right? Just to do a little quick thing, but it takes so long to get through this Visual Code compile system. You know, Visual Micro on the Visual Studio. Boy, I'm so sick of that word visual. The VS Micro, it's just so much faster. But it's $27, $26 to $27 for the license. So I'm trying to raise some money through those links way at the very bottom of this. You know, that PayPal me and Patreon, trying to raise some money. The VS license, Visual Micro license, is about $26, $27. And like I said, that's about $140 more than I can afford. All right, I'm going to have a drink while this takes its time to build. Now, I just wanted to get some output and you know, have a little bit of idea of, maybe it's the string that I'm passing or something screwed up, but I don't know. Let's go. Are we going to connect? Please connect automatically. Come on, you can do it, baby. You did it twice already. It did it 3 times in a row. I think maybe it's working for some reason. Why wasn't it working yesterday or this morning? I don't know. But it never did that twice. Well, I never did it once. Well, I did it once, but yeah, now it's done it 3 times in a row. I'm so happy. So nobody's chatting. Hello, chatters. We got a couple of viewers. Nice to see you. I'm Kitecraft, the happy hobbyer. Can't you tell? Okay, so what do we got for the update? Now I just need to flip this back into Bluetooth mode. Okay, so it does have the right name up there. Now I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, it says Turgoshim. So this is what I'm looking for down here. Now I'm going to go ahead. Connect to it. Put in something new. Update. Son of a bitch. What is going wrong with my fonts? What am I breaking here? What the heck am I breaking? So, I mean, it came up with the right text, so I know it's not garbled text. Like, it's the proper text, so it really is just a display. I'm doing something bad with the font. Delete, pushing sprites, fonts. Makes no sense. I'm just looking at one of my old other classes to see if I have to do anything weird with fonts, but I don't. I know I don't. Yeah, see, no weirdness there with the fonts. The font is already set. So, yeah, 14-point font. The fonts are there. I'm not doing anything weird. Why is it breaking? Okay. And why did it update twice? Oh, why did it update twice? That's weird. Why would it have updated twice? I think I've got maybe something else going on here. No. That's a weird little bug I got going on here. Why isn't that working? So go ahead, if you want to pop over to GitHub. I am Kitecraft on GitHub. There's a link in the description. I am working in the ESP32, HardSense ESP32, source, display handler. In the GUI, I've got my Bluetooth configurator screens. This is where the bug is somewhere in here. The serial object, if we were to go back here and have a look at the serial object, there's a save function in here. Once it saves all of that new data to the disk, oh, that's why. Oh, that's why. So the save settings, Oh, that's why. That's why it's printed twice. The configuration in here, there's an SSID and a password. They're actually being sent independently. One of them is an update SSID command. One of them is update password command. The dispatch command function in the serial object does a save on each one. And therefore it calls the update function on each one. That's why we see it printed twice down here. Okay, I understand that. Not a problem. So is that, am I not doing a proper clear? No. This should be doing it. You know what? I'm just going to do this real quick. Update server name. No, I want to mess with the SSID. I'm going to take this, put a comma there, TFT, yellow. Yeah. Let's just do that. Now, the reason why is just going to help me debug what's going on a little bit. Yeah. And I really wish it didn't take so long to actually just do an upload. Gotta wait. But at least I'm feeling a little better. Hello, viewers. Nice to see you. Yeah. Working with an ESP32 and VS Code, which takes forever and just time and again. So always toss a coin to your streamer. That's always nice to do. Come on there, buddy. You can compile. I just want to see what the background color of the text is going to be to make sure that I'm actually doing a proper overwrite. But I think there's something else weird happening to the font, and I don't understand why. Come on, you can do it. You can upload. So, if you're watching this and you're looking at the VS Code for Arduino, I do have my build directory set up, so it should be doing the proper reusing stuff. It shouldn't take that long to rebuild. It just shouldn't. Just shouldn't. Maybe I've got it in the wrong, maybe it doesn't like the location it's in. No, that doesn't make sense. Okay, reboot this thing into Bluetooth mode. So that's the text background. We'll zoom in a bit on that. So now you can see that the text background is yellow, which is exactly what I wanted, and the text is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do another update. Oops, yeah, from here. Connect. Sender. Just need to put some random text in there, right? Do an update. And it's all goofed up. But it did the right overwrite. Now it's got to be a font thing. I'm definitely blowing up the font somewhere. Just get rid of that. I know there's no problem there. So I'm just going to put that back. Just undoing that yellow background. Alright, well, I didn't want to have to do this. But let's just see what's going on here. Draw server panel. I'm going to get rid of that. Because that should just be empty on draw. My time is working, right? Why aren't you popping into Bluetooth mode? Come on now, push the button, reboot, go into Bluetooth mode. Oh, now you're making me sad. just power it right off. Shouldn't really matter. I've done something bad. I broke something. Okay, well, let's go figure out what I broke. No, that shouldn't be that. So sometimes that button breaks, I guess, and I've had to do this before. I actually just moved this cable, this plug, so now you'll see that it's actually on the same row as the ground pin. So basically now the button is always on. There, now it jumped me into there. All right, whatever. So let's go ahead and, this way I don't have to push the button anymore. Every time it reboots, it's going to boot directly into, every time it reboots, it's going to jump directly into Bluetooth configurator mode, simply because I actually replugged this in. If you look at this wire over there, I just moved that from where it was into here. Now it's always low. It's always low. So let's go ahead and rebuild this again, just to see what's happening. Because I want to get rid of the yellow. Oh, shoot. Plug it in. There we go. Alright, so still building. Hopefully it'll actually just pick up by itself. Anyways. I am sick as a dog. I don't know where that expression came from. It's kind of a dumb expression. But I'm going to have a Halls because my throat's going bad. Sorry. Okay, it's still compiling and verifying and doing its slow-ass bit. Taking its time. I don't know why it's so slow. Maybe somebody out there could look that up for me. See if there's a way to make this run compile faster. Hey, there we go. Now it's connecting. Come on, baby, connect. Connect. Don't make me push that button. Don't make me push that button. I have to push the button. Okay, now it's uploading. Uploading. Toss a coin to your streamer, oh valley of plenty. Hard resetting, go straight into configurator mode. I'm going to update it with some new values. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Update. Yeah, see what the hell is going wrong. I don't know what I screwed up here. I really don't. I am forgetting something trivial. That's the stupid problem. I know that once I realize what I've done. See, I haven't actually been dealing in this particular code since yesterday. Once I lost my Visual Micro license, and I realized I had to spend some money, and that if I didn't want to spend money, I was going to have to come into VS Code. So I had to look at VS Code, and I was really unhappy. So I went on to some other projects for the last couple months, trying to figure out what's going on. So I decided to come back and finish this project. I want to take this over the next few days to a week, all the way to completion. We're going to have a nice little 3D printed box. It's going to sit on my desk and be wireless. It'll have a battery. It's fully Wi-Fi and everything. So we're just taking care of the last bit of screens, and then we'll go ahead and finish off the PCB design, which I'll make here at home, and I'll show you how to make them. And then we'll design the 3D printed box and put it all together. But I got to get this last couple of screens working properly, because one of the big steps I have to do immediately following this is we're going to remake the partition file to include OTA, which is over the air, meaning it no longer has to be plugged in order for me to actually upload new firmware updates to it. And that's an important step, because a lot of people may not realize, they think this is going to be easy to actually access, but you really don't have access to that USB port once you put this into a project. Because if you look at this, how big this is, if you want access, if you look right down below here, right there, and I put my finger in there, you can see the width between the edge of the board, the ESP32 board, and the edge of the USB plug. It's only that big. That's the thickness of the wall of the cabinet that you're going to put the board into. So you're not going to have easy access to the USB plug. The cool thing is that ESP32 offers a built-in over-the-air capabilities. In fact, if we have a quick look, if I go into the board configurator manager, I can change my partition scheme. Right now I'm using this 3 megabyte with no OTA, and I could change it to a smaller one with OTA, and that now this whole ESP32 has over-the-air updates. I mean, the wonders never cease with this less than $10 board. But I need to customize my partition scheme for this project. Right now, you'll notice that the whole upload size, if we look at the bottom down here, we're only looking at, hello, where's the, there it is, changing baud rate. There it is. Sketch uses 1.38 megabytes of space, so less than half the space. But I need a certain amount of SPIFFS, the file system, to handle all of the font files and some new stuff I'll be adding. Plus I want to add OTA, so I have to create a new partition scheme, customized. So we'll be doing that. First of all, we've got to figure out this last bug before I can move on. I got to figure out this bug. Why is it doing that? This is so stupid. This is really stupid. I'm very unhappy with this. I'm very unhappy with this. Oh, what is happening? Why is it doing that? All right, Sergeant Renfrew, what the hell is going wrong here, man? So my buddy there, he seems ready to help. He's got his little oscilloscope out. He's about as useful as the oscilloscope. I'm just not sure what's going wrong there. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to do this, aren't I? Just as a, I guess as a test. I'm going to unload any font and I'm going to reload the font. I don't want to do this because it takes time, and I try to avoid stuff that takes time, and I want to just do the minimum. So I'm going to end up rewriting all of these functions into a common base function instead of reusing all this code. That means their partition space is actually going to go down, but I'm okay with doing this right now because I know that it's giving me a much better idea of the amount of space that I can actually use. So don't worry, we're going to be doing some tech debt refactoring, but after this first phase, I've already been shaving the yak way too much, so it's time to just move on. So we're just going to do an unload font, reload font. So every time it does an update, there should not be a problem with the font. There should not be a problem with the font. Think positive about the fonts. Why is it blowing up the font? That is driving me nuts. All right, let's pop over here. Let's hit that button. Scroll down. Let's push that. What the hell is going on here? There you go. Stop saying bad language things. Okay, we're just going to let that build and compile. And it takes its time. What's going on here? So here's I actually finally broke down and decided to make one of these. I use a Rostock Max that has a tube, right? It's the bowling tube. So I had some green left in there, and rather than pull it all the way out, it actually just started the blue on top, and that's how I ended up with a two-piece, and it looks pretty cool. Still waiting for it to compile. Just, trying to fill in time as this thing builds. Visual Micro, I'd be done by now. Visual Micro also has built-in debugging. You can, and so I don't. You don't have to do all these serial.print lines. I don't feel comfortable even trying to use a debugger in this VS Code thing. Like, really. Yeah, I gotta push the button. I don't even feel comfortable to try and start using a debugger in this VS Code. I really want to get back to Visual Micro. It has a beautiful little built-in debugger that's easy to use. Plus, the other half of my HardSense project is a Visual C++ project, or C# or whatever the heck it is these days. So it was nice to have all of this in one IDE. So now if I actually want to work on this application, I have to use Visual Studio. And now if I want to work on the Arduino code, I have to use it in VS Code. And it was nice to have all of this in one project in Visual Studio, because Visual Micro was really cool, but now they want to charge me money and I don't have any money. Okay, so I have now reset the font on every single update. So let's just connect this. Let's give it a new value called Bobby. Let's go with Bobbiness. Hit the update, and it still toasted it. Okay, so there's definitely some other weird ass problem going on here. Did I change to a 14 font? What font did I use? 18. Something has gone horribly wrong. Something has gone horribly wrong. Okay, I just need to do this real quick. Let's just do this. Something has gone horribly wrong. Where is my window? There it is. Sorry, bear with me. I just got to get this logged into my my network and actually make a check on it. So bear with me. Sorry, I suck at this. I know, I'm horrible. Which one do I want? I want this one? Yes. Come on. Select. Paste. I know you can't see what I'm doing, and I'm a bad host for it. I get it. Okay. So yeah, that's updated. Now let's just reboot this thing. Oh no, I need the server. AERIE port. What port am I on? 4121? Is that the port that I was using? I forget. Okay, let's just reboot this and see if I can get on the network and if everything is fine. Oh, of course not. I'm going to take that off. So now it'll boot back into normal. It should hop onto my network. It's connected. Everything is working fine. Okay. So I know all is good with my code and all that, but the Bluetooth configurator screen is in fact special. It is in fact running in a slightly different way than the rest of the screens. And I didn't think I was going to have any issues with it, but I really am having an issue with it. And I wonder why. You see, that's interesting. It really is interesting on the way that serial object is conflicting with the display object. And my button isn't working anymore. When is my button working anymore? Did I break my button? There it is. Something about this freaking update is causing me problems. Why would it be doing that? And it loaded the wrong font. Something is stepping on itself when I do that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to I'm gonna cheat. You know what? Screw it. Okay. Oh, I'm not proud of this. Yeah, I'm not proud of what I'm gonna do, but it's gonna get me through. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? Okay. I'm going to go up here to save settings, and I'm just going to actually make it, I'm going to force it to just reload the entire screen. Instead of just updating my values, I'm just going to, I'm just going to hit it. I'm just going to hit the hard hammer, the big hammer, the sledgehammer. Oh, you can't even see what the hell I'm doing. I'm so sorry. So what I'm doing is I just commented out the update, and I'm replacing it with an actual change screen. This will cause it to reload the screen from scratch. It'll actually destroy the current screen and reload a whole new screen. Basically, I just want to get past this stupid-ass little problem and deal with it later. Okay, so that's running. While that's doing that, let's talk about interesting things. I don't know. There we go. So VS Code, I use it for Ruby development, and it's nice to have a Ruby debugger built into it, and I actually don't have a problem using VS Code in general, but this Arduino integration is really leaving a lot to be desired. I haven't found any. There's another Visual Studio solution called Visual GDB, and they also offer a 30-day trial, a full debugger, and a few other goodies. But again, it's only a 30-day trial. I haven't even tried Visual GDB simply because I don't want to go through all the work of learning something, just knowing that it's going to give up in 30 days. When I already know there is something I'm willing to pay for, which is Visual Micro. But again, its license is about $26.50, $27 Canadian right now, and as I keep saying, that is $140 more than I can spend. So look at that. Visual Code actually did the connection this time again, so I didn't have to push the button. It makes me happy. So it's going to reload. Okay, now I'm going to switch this over to Bluetooth mode. Now I'm just going to go ahead and do an update again and blow away and just make sure that that bug is actually being crushed by this whole update. I don't like this idea one bit because you're going to see what happens. It's going to suck. So I'm going to do this, A, B, C, D, E, F. I'm going to switch over so you get a good view of this. And I press the button. That was even worse than I was expecting. Yeah, so there's all sorts of reasons not to do that. I mean, really, there is all sorts of reasons not to do that. Okay, that was, yeah, I knew that was a bad idea. Can't figure out why it's blowing up the font, though. Whatever. I don't know what's going on there. Screw it. Let's move on. Oh, I guess I need to put the right information back. Otherwise, it's not going to work. STARs. This is ARI. This is 4121. Yeah, that's loaded right. So I just need to. And then I'm just going to soldier on because that is such a weird bug, and I'll deal with it later. I just got to get my password to log into my network. That's the problem with multiple Wi-Fi networks. I can never remember which password goes to which network. Sucks. No, that is not the right one. Is it this one? Yeah, this one. And it goes into there. Did you update? Why not? Okay, I should fix that before it's going to update because that's badness. Yeah, trying to crush that that whole screen update like that. That's just a bad idea. So we got to get rid of that. Oh, pardon me. Okay, so while we're waiting for it to reload, hello, YouTube viewers. How are you? Nice to see you. Feel free to say hi. Waiting for it to compile, and then we'll pop over and just move on. Because I got something really neat I want to show you next. That's a crushing bug, man. I don't know what's going on there, so I'm not going to deal with it. It's so weird. Well, I sort of have an idea. The thing is the serial object is actually doing things to the file system. And I think maybe that's why. No, that's... I don't know. I'll have to deal with that later. Okay. Let's just get that loaded. Push the button while it reboots. Puts me into Bluetooth mode. Or not. There we go. Now I got to get the right information into there. Exit. Settings. Connect. I don't know if that's the right. I don't know if that's the right one or not. I better just go double check that. Nope, that was not the right one. Let's try that again. Uh-oh, there we go, yeah. Yeah, I definitely did a bad thing there, didn't I? Okay. Just digging out various bits of information, put that into here. Hello. That goes into here and there. Click that. Come on now. You can do it. I've done something bad. I'm really screwing this up here today. Connect. Thank you. STAR star sign. Update network info. They're good. Good. Is my time accurate? Let's see. If I do that, does it break the... No, it doesn't bring it back either. It still keeps the font is still screwed up. But okay, let's just exit out of here. Reboot it. Good enough. We're back in. Now, the neat thing that's happening here, I'm going to actually unplug this for a second, and I'm going to turn it off. Now, when this thing first boots up, what it does is it connects to the network, the Wi-Fi network, waits for a successful connection to the Wi-Fi network, then it connects to the server that I've defined. The TCP port requests a connection to the streaming data, requests some of the data, and then it starts up the home screen. Now, watch how fast this happens from turning it on to full data display. There we go. It did all of those actions that fast. It connected to the network, it connected to the server, it requested the data. So this is actually really quick. But nonetheless, if there is in fact a built-in heartbeat, so if my server goes down or the network goes down, this thing isn't left hanging. In fact, what will happen is if I exit HardSense, you'll see that all of a sudden it's no longer getting any data. Now it's waiting to see, it's kicking out this heartbeat 3 times, and then once the heartbeat fails 3 times, it will actually disconnect, which should jump it back into this mode where it actually tries to reconnect. Now, the visual display isn't being updated while it's doing this, but if I reconnect it, like if I restart HardSense, which is over here somewhere, there it is. Now I'm restarting the Windows application, so you're going to see this pick up again, and it's going to reconnect on and reload like that. That's because I've restarted the HardSense server. Now if it lost the connection to the network, the same thing would happen. So there's a nice heartbeat in here that's handling that whole thing. If we look in here, we got this heartbeat. It gets turned on and off once there's a connection. And the heartbeat is really simple. If it misses 3 heartbeats, which is each at a half a second, it should hang up. And it goes into that loop to try again. What I want to build now is that screen that lets me know, pardon me, what we're going to do is we're going to build a splash screen that lets me know that it's trying to connect to the network. There's no really visual indication that it hung up. You'll notice none of the dials, they all froze because they weren't receiving new data. The clock kept going. There was no indication that the server itself had actually gone down. And the heartbeat had hung up and there was no more connection. It was still connected to the Wi-Fi network, but it wasn't connected to my server. So we're going to look at some of that code right here. If we go into the heartbeat, where is the heartbeat? What's it called? Heartbeat. Heartbeat timer. There's that. Heartbeat timer enabled. And then over here we have the increment heartbeat counter. So every time the heartbeat gets fired, right here, we want to do the least amount of possible work, because this is actually a hardware timer that's being kicked off, which calls this function. That's why you see this IM adder. This means this is actually going to run in a special place in memory. So we need this thing to run as fast as possible. It cannot spend any more time in here than is possible necessary. So we lock our mutex, we flip our switch, we unlock our mutex, and we get out. Now the main loop, as is running, we'll have a look at that. Where is it? So it's called the handle input. I think that's where it's handling it. Right there. Nope, hang on. Where the heck do we actually deal with that? Oh, right. There it is. I almost forgot. It disappeared on me again. I don't like the way the search in here works either. That was a weird cuckoo nest. There's another sound. Hang on, I got some weird things happening around me. Things are making noises that they shouldn't be. Oh, hang on. Monday. Woohoo! Got a job interview. Yeah, for Monday morning. Job interview. Yay! Nice. That wasn't even planned. Okay, so yeah, on the output we check to see if we have to increment our counter. That will return true, and if it is, we add our heartbeat. What we actually want to look for now is in our dispatch command. What do we got here? Heartbeat. Heartbeat counter. So this is where it's acknowledged. Increment heartbeat. I'm just looking for a place that we're going to stick our my splash screen into. Well, I guess the first place I should stick it, shut it, is, yeah, let's put it over here. Let's have a look. Okay, I actually sort of have one going on here. That's not a good place for it. Instead, I want to do a different one. If we go to our handle Bluetooth, I'm going to steal this line right here. Yeah, this one. And I'm going to put it so if we're not connected to something, if we're going into the Bluetooth, we want the Bluetooth screen, and that's all handled in here, and then we exit. Then we get in the handle Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, that's a good place to stick. The first one is in serial objects handle Wi-Fi connection. Where's handle Wi-Fi connection? Right there. Oh, look at that. I actually started to do it. So I'm going to put in that. Get rid of this. And I want this screen to be my splash screen. Okay, so that will launch my splash screen. Now let's go have a look at that splash screen. Here's what I'm doing. There's this little website out there. Where's my web browser? This is called, scroll up to the top here, The Absolute Beginner's Guide to TFT LCD Displays by Arduino. Now this is actually a really neat website. If you're new to the TFTs and whatnot, go ahead and read some stuff on here. It's got a lot of information that'll help you kind of understand what's going on. But what I really like about this particular site, and there's a link to the site in the description of this video, is if I scroll all the way down, it suddenly gives you these little templates and these ideas that you can do with yours. Now, I always recommend you find a starting point like this and then just make it your own. So we have a little spinning thing, we have some text being flashed up, we have a logo that's being scraped across, we have some movement on the graph, some other stuff. So these are all really nice ideas, and I like this one. There's some cool ideas, and then here's a really great idea for various little gauges and displays. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use this one. I'm going to go ahead and use this idea in my own display. So what I've done is I've basically taken this little bit of code that they have right here, and I've already pasted it into my own little function that I call my splash screen. If we open that up, we can see that I've actually pretty much taken that existing code and I've stuck it into this constructor. I haven't really done anything else with it yet. We're going to have to figure out how to deal with this in a minute. So what I expect to see, now that I'm actually, this right here means go ahead and change the screen to the splash screen. So it's going to instantiate my splash screen. Now I'm hoping that I see this little purple thing or something being rotated around here for just a couple of seconds, and then it's going to go ahead and continue with the next step. I'm not doing anything fancy, I just stuck that code in there, and we're going to have to go through the whole compile and upload process because Visual Code hates me. The other thing about VS Code, to do this, you always have to go back to your INO file to get your upload button. If you're in Visual Studio using the Visual Micro extensions, you just press F5 and off you go. Doesn't matter what screen you're on or what you're looking at, it just compiles and goes. But no, here, got to go back to the INO file, got to hit the button, got to sit around and wait for it. I'm going to have a drink of coffee. Okay, so the goal now is I want a splash screen to let me know that it's connecting to the network. Now you notice how fast it actually loads from a cold boot all the way to, there's really no time at all. So either I can have the splash screen artificially slow that down and give me something pretty to look at, or I can just have it do something really quickly, and I don't want to slow it down. I'm going to do something in real time. with the data as it's connecting to the network, connecting to the server, requesting its data, the sensor data. I wanted actually having it update that text in real time, and it's going to look really cool. Boom, 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 boom. But we got to get to that part first by having this thing actually verify and upload. Oh my God, this is so slow. VS Code with Arduino. Please tell me how to make it faster. I'm no expert in anything. For those of you watching my stream, thank you. Come by. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications. You'll see more of this project being built. And then you know what? You spend all that time waiting for it to build, waiting for it to build. Then you finally realize, oh, I forgot to plug the USB cable back into it. Now I got to do it all over again. It is such an annoying. All right. Got to take my USB cable and plug it back in. There we go. Now hit the button again. And wait all over. I don't know why. I do have my build folder. Like, see, is it maybe I shouldn't have it in the VS Code directory, but it is actually getting data. You see, like if I look in there, it's it's being filled up with stuff. So it shouldn't take this long to build, but it does, and it's so frustrating. So if you know how to make this compile and verify faster, please tell me. Or check out way down below. There's a PayPal me, Kitecraft, and a Patreon. Join my Patreon, subscribe to me. I'm still working that out. I'm trying to raise some money so that I can buy some better cameras for streaming with, maybe a microphone. And I would like to buy the Visual Micro license for the Visual Micro development environment as an extension on Visual Studio. And it's a great IoT extension for Arduino environments. It's wonderful, has a built-in debugger, but it's about $26 to $27 Canadian for a license, and that's about $140 more than I have to spend. So let's go ahead and push the button. Connecting. Are you? What? Come on now. There you go. Now it's uploading. We'll switch over. Now we should see that little, this thing. I'm hoping this works. We'll switch over to that camera. Cross your fingers. Yeah! And it ended. Perfect. Now, I actually want to do more than that. I want to do a lot more than that. What I wanted to do is constantly spin and then have text being updated onto that screen. So this is going to be the fun bit. Now, what did I do here? We got to have a look at what's going on here. So there's this for loop in the constructor. It's actually loading that screen, and it's just doing this, and then when it exits, it continues. I need to put this in my update screen on interval. I need an update screen on interval function here. Yes. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I got to go to my display handler. And just make sure that I've connected all of my functions I'm going to need for my splash screen. Destroy, update, update on interval. Good, so I've got my update on interval. Let's just check the interface class and make sure the interface class is hooked up. Where am I looking here? Splash screen, functions, on interval. Yep, it's calling its objects on interval. Good, so I know my interface is set up and my new class object is set up for this screen. Now I just need to make sure what I've got going on here with this. I need a new function in here. So where's my header file? Yeah, that's the wrong header file. I need my splash screen header file. Okay, and I'm going to put a new private function in here called update void update circle. Pop over to here, paste that in. Take that, paste that there, update circle. Now, I want to take this. What's going on here? I don't know what that is. Let's get rid of that. I'm going to put this in here, but I don't want a loop. I need a separate counter for this. So I'm going to just stick a new int, call it circle loop counter for now. I don't know what this is going to do. Circle loop counter. Equals 0. Now basically what I'm doing here is, nope. I is 8, I is, okay, so this is being decremented. Okay, so I need to start it at 8, not 0. So then down here I'm just going to say decrement it if circle loop counter is less than 0. Yeah, it's less than 0. Oops. Circle loop counter equals 8. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need to take this and shift it over there. Now, milliseconds. What's my update frequency that I'm doing this on? 50. Yeah, close enough. So now, theoretically, this should just keep updating while it's trying to connect to the server. So if I updated this, what's going to happen, what I think should happen, is when it reboots, we'll actually just see this screen come up quickly. It's not going to last very long because it's going to be able to do the connections in the background. So hopefully that's what's going to happen. Yes, that should work. We're going to load this. Now, so the display manager is constantly spinning on its loop, and it does only a couple of little actions. And one of them is it calls this update screen on interval every single loop. It's up to the class that's hooked into it to decide if it should do anything with it. So that's why the whole the check is done. Oh, it's not going to work. I forgot to put the call in. Oh boy. Yeah. So now it's up to your individual class to actually keep track of when it's going to do the update. Because it could actually update a lot faster. What happened? Did I break something? Oh, yeah. I got to change this to loop counter. Damn. Oh, come on, be nice. You can't really do a global search and replace on I. That would just be bad. So I have to do this repeatedly everywhere. I should just call it I, but that would be bad. I got a few more of these to do, and then we can recompile it again and wait for it to take forever just to tell me one little mistake I made. Come on. Okay, now hopefully that works. Oh, hang on. What the hell is that delay in here? Who wrote this? I just copied and pasted this. This is weird. You know what? I need to do this and make it, because I didn't even notice that was happening up there. Oh, there's another I. Delay. 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 Look at all those delays in there. So it does a full circle. So this isn't going to do what I thought it does. Oh well, we'll learn as we go. Hangouts. Okay, so waiting for it to compile. Hurry up, we'll get onto this display. I'm just trying to get the splash screen working, and then we can go ahead and design the circuit board. We'll finish designing the circuit board. I'd like to make this, do the actual circuit board, build it this weekend. But at the rate this thing compiles, it's going to take me forever. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to have another one of these hauls because my throat is killing me. Oh, something broke. Call. Yeah, see, I'm doing something. This isn't going to work the way I thought it was. Shoot. See, this is doing a full circle on each one, and I don't want to do that. This is having a delay of 15 milliseconds, so I need to change my update delay to 15. I'm not even sure that's actually possible. Yes, it is. I'll show you something that I'm doing here. Basically just turbocharged my display manager, and it all is good, trust me. So what do we got here? Because I want this updating quickly, but we can't do the whole loop each time. That's not right. What we need to do is I got to figure out how to increment this. So it does that. Okay, this is the very first one. So I want to put this up into the constructor. And there's an interesting bit here. Right, good enough. Good enough. Now, it's this number. This is a secondary counter. I'm going to call that secondary counter. So if I pop over to my, why is this open? You go away. I'm going to call this int secondary loop counter. And this one starts off at 1, goes to 7. Interesting. What's going on here? I want to start this one at 1 anyways. And that's going to become this value right here. And I have to increment it. Well, that's interesting. Yeah. Let's just have it upload and see what this looks like. If it compiles properly, or it might just crash. Come on. Turn auto scrolling on. Sometimes auto scrolling just turns itself off in VS Code. You don't have this problem in Visual Micro. You know, I am not being endorsed by anybody. Like, seriously, this is all my own opinion. I don't know anything. I'm a dumbass. Nobody's paying me to do anything. I just think Visual Micro is awesome, and I wish I could use it. It's just too expensive for me because I'm a poor man on YouTube. Hurry up and compile a Visual VS Code. Let's pop over and have a good look at what's going on here. Yeah. So it's really abusing, compiling this is really sucking up my processor power. Look at that. It's actually got it at 3.5 gigahertz. Why is it saying megahertz? 3,500 megahertz. All right. Got to push the button. There we go. Yeah, 3.5 gigahertz, and it was using half of that. So it was actually using a lot of processor power to do the compiling, and it takes so damn long. Okay, now we want to see what this loading screen, the splash screen looks like. Yeah, it still wasn't quite right, I don't think. Okay, now what we need to do in order to actually test this a little better is when in the serial object, when the heartbeat fires and it figures out that whatever was connected to is gone, it goes through this whole hang up thing. So let's see here. Increment heartbeat counter. So if the max has missed, connected to something goes to false. Heartbeat counter gets reset and then it gets disabled. Now, in the inner loop here, where's a good place to do that? Handle Wi-Fi connection. I wonder if it's already doing it, because I already placed it at the very top of handle Wi-Fi connection. Let's just see. I wonder if this is already working. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kill my HardSense Windows application. Now let's see if this trips up and goes back to the splash screen. It does not. It does! Yeah, baby! I am just that good sometimes. That's all in the display manager. And it's still spinning. Look at that. It's actually still spinning. It didn't stop. That means my update function on interval is working correctly. And it's sitting there spinning, trying to connect to HardSense. It's almost like I planned that. I'm not sure it's actually working quite the way I think it's working. It might actually be working the way I don't want it to work, but we need to find that out now. That's our next goal. So I'm going to do this. Okay. So right now it's spinning here. Connect to HardSense is failing. Handle Wi-Fi connection. It shouldn't be doing this all the time. So I need to add a little check in here because I think I'm doing something bad. If I wonder if I can get away with this. Now it's only going to be asking this function at that time. So if Wi-Fi is connected, return. Is that right? No, that's the one I want to check. Is it? Hang on, I better look and see what the hell I'm doing here. I'm going to open up my serial monitor. So that's just printing the dot. That's not doing anything else. That's right here. That's... No, hang on. That's not right. That's not connected. Okay, now it's connected. Okay, connecting to ARRI. Okay. I just want to see what the sequence of events is here. So I'm going to go ahead and start HardSense again. Okay, HardSense is started, so now it should connect. Right, okay, good. Now if you have a look at what happened down here at the bottom, connecting to socket, splash screen, top of splash screen. Okay, let's clear this. Now I'm going to go ahead and I am going to kill HardSense, the application. So that heartbeat will fail for 3 times, and then it's going to jump back into the splash screen, and we should see text coming out on the serial output down here. There's the splash screen. So now we're stuck in, okay, so it's, yeah. See, I went through the connecting to Wi-Fi again, and it shouldn't have. So I got to fix that. That's a bit of a bug. I don't want it doing that. But I think there's a bug in the ESP the way that works. Hang on, that might not actually happen. You know what? Good enough. I'm going to leave it. There's actually, I think, a bug in the way that whole connected works. Maybe. Yeah. You know what? I think I'm doing something horrible here. Wi-Fi connection. Handle Wi-Fi connection. I think I can get rid of this. Because it's doing it right there. Why am I doing that twice? Let's get rid of this. Yeah, I think this is actually going to work. So I am going to move this. Yeah, I got to keep it there. But I also need another one for when the heartbeat fails. I want to leap it. I want to drop it back, and then we're already connected to the network, so that's good. We're just connecting to HardSense. So, but on the heartbeat failure. So fire heartbeat, increment, here we go. I'm going to jump us to the splash screen. When the heartbeat fails, connected to something goes to false. The heartbeat counter gets reset and we return false. Now that connected to something is false. So we get into here, the button's not pressed, so we're going to connect to HardSense. Since we're already on the Wi-Fi, so this is it. Now we'll actually see, okay, good. This should work. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and start HardSense, the application that's running on my computer. Yes. Now we'll see this pop up again. Yeah, good, that's connected, all is good. Now let's go ahead and just do an upload of the code here. Now our splash screen should I should see less output in here now. I shouldn't see that secondary when it tries. It's already connected to the Wi-Fi network. So when the heartbeat fails, it should re-enter this loop. It should see, oh, it wasn't the Wi-Fi network that failed. I'm still connected, so I don't need to retry. It goes straight to connecting to the HardSense server. The other way the heartbeat fails is if the Wi-Fi connection failed. So if the Wi-Fi connection fails, that goes down, everything gets reset, it hits this loop, it goes into the connect to HardSense, but this time it sees, oh, the Wi-Fi isn't connected. So it goes back in, and it will actually kick off that again. I don't think I want that here. This is probably a bad place to put this now that I see what's going on. So let's cut that out, and I'm actually going to move it. There we go. I'm going to push the button, let it all upload. I'm going to move that. Where do I want to put it? I'm going to put it there, of course, at the end of setup. Okay, yeah, that's good. See how fast that actually loaded? It didn't get through the whole loop cycle. That's exactly what it should have happened. That lets me know that it really is updating on interval, and it's not doing the full for loop anymore. Watch what's happening there. I'm going to switch over to this. It happened so fast that doesn't make doesn't make a full loop, a full circuit. Watch this. See? Nice. Oh, I'm only down to one viewer now. That sucks. Okay, so now I need to do the test for disconnecting the HardSense server. That's dead. Now what we're going to see, this should pop over soon. You notice the sensors data has stopped streaming. And now, good. So that works. Okay, that worked. Now I'm going to go ahead and restart that server. So now HardSense has restarted. It's going to connect to it, and it loads up, and it's all beautiful. Nice. Now I just need to have some updating text going to it and tell me what stage it's in. So let's see here. Okay, so for HS serial, when it's connecting to HardSense, I need to define, so my update screen, I need to put some keys in here. So I'm going to go back to the screen I built yesterday, my configurator, and I'm going to steal what I did there. I'm going to take just this little bit, and I'm going to paste it in here above my update screen. And I'm going to say, I just need two of them for now. I want the key A to represent you know what, I'm just going to do it with one key for now, and that's just going to be text. I'm just going to do something really quick and dirty here. So for A, I need a new function called update circle, void update on screen text string text. So we'll pop over to my splash screen, go down to the bottom, make a new function called that, just like that. Now I need to take my text printer. Hopefully bad stuff isn't going to happen to me. I'm not loading my text printer font here. Why? Yes, I am. Right there. So I'm just going to copy that over to here. I don't think I've set up any. Oh, I do. I do have a theme in here, so that's good. Just going to do that for now. Set my font. This should be up here in the constructor. Put it right there. Actually, let's do that first. There. stuff everything in memory and then do something with it. Okay, good. So I've got my text printer sprite. Now down here at the bottom, I'm just going to have to print some text somewhere. I got to create a sprite and then just put some text somewhere on the left. You'll see why. So I'll create a sprite and then we'll draw it. Fill the sprite. So we're going to create a sprite. Sure, why not? No, not that big. 16. Going to give it a color. I'm not doing anything fancy here. I need a panel BG color. Text centered, sure, why not? No, let's go top left. Draw a string, this should be at 0, 0. And this should be text. Now set my text color. I'm just going to change this to be, actually I've already done that. I don't need to do that again. It's right there. Whoops. Whoops. Oh, come on! Happy hobbyer, happy hobbyer. Okay, so set the text color, draw it. Now we have to delete the sprite because we are done with it. And there we go. Nope, we've got to push the sprite. Don't forget to push the sprite. Now, I am just going to manually place it somewhere on the left. Okay. So we got to give it some text. Let's see here. What were we doing? We were doing the connect to HardSense. Draw, get sent. Where am I? Oh, configurator screen. Serial. Connect to HardSense server. So we need to dump in a text update message for that A key. Now, if I go back to my splash screen, you can see that I'm calling this update on my A key. So, what did I want to do? Update something, right? Update on-screen text with sub value. So the sub value, I don't need a double value, so I'm going to disable that for now. The sub value is everything after the key. So I'm going to pass in some text from here at the very top of the handle of the connect. Where is it? Connect to HardSense server. Okay, I'm going to do this. This is going to be fun. I'm going to artificially slow this down a bit too, so watch what happens here. I need to find something. Where is a good place to steal that? Save settings? Is that where I did it? No, display. Update display. I need to steal this code, put it in the connect to HardSense. Don't worry, all of this will be refactored later as tech debt. Yes, I know, horrible. Okay, so what am I looking for? Connect to HardSense server. So my string is going to be connecting to HardSense server. And I'm going to put a delay in here of 20, just so I can see that happen. Okay. Serial.print lines connecting to sockets. Oh, look at that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do new value equals connecting to socket on value plus equals server name value plus equal value plus equal Printline value. And I am going to also feed that exact same string into the display. So we'll see if that works. Now this text should be displayed on the left side of the screen. So on that splash screen, the animation was happening over here, right? And this text I'm displaying now should appear over here. It's going to happen quickly. You know what? I'm actually just going to put a bigger delay in here just so I can see what's actually happening. Now, the neat thing is, this delay isn't going to stop the animation from updating. It's only stopping this thread from proceeding to the next step, but the animation is updating on the other core. So I can sleep here, the animation will still spin, I'll see what's happening, and it's going to be really cool. And I'm going to change this one to 100 as well. Okay, good enough. Let's do that. So this will be cool. This should give me a basically working splash screen now. All I have to do is just add the text in a couple other places, and then I'll get rid of those delays, and we'll see a snappy splash screen. I think that'll be cool. I think that's going to be cool. Yeah. It's definitely going to be cool. Oh my gosh, man, I caught a cold. And it started coming up on my stream yesterday. I started the stream feeling fine. But halfway through it, my throat really started hurting, and by the end of the stream, you know, my nose was a little bit stuffed up. Oh, I got a bug here. I was going to stream more of this last night, but I was not feeling good at all. Even woke up this morning with a headache and the sinuses all plugged up. Anyways, I got a problem here. I'm doing something wrong. Value plus or equal. Did I miss something? You know the other thing, in Visual Micro, I can just double click on this and it'll take me right there in the editor. It doesn't do that in VS Code. You can't just double click on stuff down here in the output and be taken to it. Visual Micro has so many legs up. Okay, what was I doing here? Connect to HardSense. Splash screen. No. Serial. Oh, yeah. See, all that time just for a freaking semicolon. So recompiling again, and have to, what's going on here? Is it actually doing anything? What is with the auto scroll? Okay, waiting for it to load. I think I'm almost there with the splash screen. This is probably just about it. It's almost working. Come on now. You can do it. And I have a job interview for Monday morning. That is so awesome. And it's 99 days that I've quit smoking after 35 years. Wow. Okay, connecting. Let's push the button. Now we should see the loading screen spinning here. I'm going to switch over to the good view. Now HardSense server is not running, so this should just spin. I think. I don't know what's going to happen. Let's find out. Reloading, rebooting. There it is, connecting to. Cool. Okay, so I guess HardSense is running. Let me turn that off. Okay, I just turned off the HardSense server. There we go. But it didn't update the text. Oh, hang on. Did I actually do something? Where's that? Serial? Splash? No, serial. Yeah, so that returned. Why is it returning there? If it's returning there, if not connected, no, that's fine. Yeah, so there's the text. Wait a minute. That worked, right? That actually worked. Hang on. I think that worked. I think that worked perfectly. I just didn't even notice it. Let's try that again. Okay, so let's start the HardSense server. You can see it running right up here. Right there. It says connecting to, so I just got to get the font sizes fixed and all that. Okay, so I got to start the server, HardSense server. Okay, now that's started. Now you're going to see it connecting. Yeah, good. Now I'm going to kill it. So now we'll see it freeze for a second and a half. 2, 1. Okay, now why isn't the text up there yet? Come on, text, where are you? See, where's that text coming from? Why isn't that text being displayed? It should be this text. Why isn't that text being displayed? There it is. Oh, that's because of my delays. Okay, let's get rid of the delays. Okay, so let's do this. Connecting to. Okay, it's just going to have to place the text now. So good. Yeah, perfect. That actually works well. So I think if I get rid of those delays, now it'll actually update much quicker. Whoa, where'd you go? Okay, now let's launch HardSense. Yes. Now we'll see it connect again real quick. HardSense server is running, and we have connection. Now, I'm actually just going to cycle it here, see what happens. Connecting to, and we're up and running. Fast, nice, good. Come on now, hurry up and finish compiling, please. Come on. Oh boy, always so slow. Always so slow. There we go. Will it actually connect by itself? Nope, not this time. I don't know what the secret is to VS Code doing this. Sometimes it was doing it, sometimes not. Anyways, let's push the button. There we go. Now let's see what that splash screen, it should actually display faster now that I've turned off those delays, I think. Okay, so now do the heartbeat test. I want to kill the HardSense server. that will, so now HardSenseESP is wondering what's going on. It decides HardSense server's done. It does that. Where's my text update? Why doesn't it update my text right away? That's the question here. Why doesn't it update the text right away? Add item. Okay. Oh. You know what? I am going to do something interesting here. Let's see. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this. Where's my, over on the left side, where's my connect to HardSense? I need to go steal this line here. You know what? I don't even need to. I'm just going to do this. Watch this. This is going to be neat. Fire heartbeat. Where's my heartbeat? So I'm going to add it to the queue. I'm going to cause a delay here of 20 to let it actually activate. And then I'm going to give it a new string. Whoops. That says heartbeat failure. I need to send in the key with a comma as the separator, and that's the text. The new line should get picked up as an actual new line because it's a serial. The TFT or the text printer print line is the same as any other, so that new line should actually cause a new line. Let's just do this. Okay, so that should see this get displayed in that instance. Nice. Okay, but I'm going to have to do some fancy figuring to get the text to display properly on this left side now. Yeah. Oh, I have an idea what I'm going to do there. Okay, but let's just get past this first. What are we coming up to? 2.5 hours for this stream, and I am getting the munchies. It's coming up to noon, so I think I might, once we get this little bit working here, I think this would be a good time for me to check all this code into the branch, take a short break, let you guys have lunch, and let myself have lunch, and then we'll come back this afternoon and finish this off. We're almost there. I'm almost there on the home stretch. Just a little bit of reworking on this splash screen, maybe change this color theme to something and get that text formatted properly. And then the last thing I'll have to do is make the new partition scheme so that I can add the OTA functionality and have the right size of SPIFFS file system and things like that. And then we'll be creating the circuit board. Well, finishing the circuit board. Cool. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, now that's loading up. Let's switch over to here. Now, HardSense is running, right? No. I turned it off. So yeah, it's spinning on the Connect too, that's right. So if I start HardSense, the server, and it's now connecting, good, that's right. And it's streaming data, perfect. So now I'm going to kill it, and this will cause the heartbeat to get fire a failure. Now I should see the heartbeat failure text displayed for a little while. No, it went straight to connecting. Too fast. Too fast. Awesome. You know what? Let me try this then. Okay. I'm not sure it actually worked or not because it was so fast. So this time I'm actually going to go back to my serial where it does that. Add item to the queue, heartbeat failure, and then I'm going to go to sleep here for 100 milliseconds. This way I'll actually should be able to see that text get displayed. It's not going to be formatted correctly, but it will be displayed. And that way I'll know that this is actually working. Oops, that's not the one I'm looking for. So Ferrari and Red Bull have revealed their 2020 F1 liveries, their F1 cars. Mercedes has unveiled their livery. They have a new partnership with somebody called Ineos. So there's a bit of red on the Mercedes car. Big deal. Ferrari and Red Bull have done their car reveals for the 2020 cars. I can't seem to be getting into it yet. I don't know why. But it's going to be a fun racing season, I tell you. I got to tell you, I think I'm actually getting more excited about the GT3 racing. And I really wish I could get the proper Super GT because that's even better. But, I think my interests have definitely moving away from the F1 because the GT3 racing that's been going on in the Blancpain series, or the SRO series as it's called now, has been really, really excellent racing. We just had the Bathurst, 12-hour Bathurst, which was a fantastic race. That's GT3 racing. Okay, so this is the initial connection. So let me start the HardSense server. It's connecting to, yes. So now the server's running, it's connected. So now I'll kill the server, which will activate the heartbeat. And we should see the heartbeat failure message displayed momentarily. No. Why? That was weird. So it should do all of this. Oh. No, it should be doing all of this. Okay. What's happening? I'm not even looking at the console. I should be looking at to see what's going on down here. So let's start the service again. See what this ends up saying down. Oh, did I lose the camera? No. Okay, so connected to ARRI. Yeah. That's the output down here. That's right. That's what it's supposed to say. Connecting to socket on server name port. Yeah. Good. Okay. So now let's kill the HardSense server. What happens for the console output? Well, it went straight to that really fast. Cool. And so if I start the server again, it now connects and it's running. So let's make sure that everything else is working. If I touch it, I go to my GPU screen. Yep. Back home. My CPU screen still works. Oh no. I had that problem with the calibration, didn't I? So something is really messed up. Oh no, there it is. It works. Okay, no, all is good. All is good. And so the splash screen works. Just restart it. There's the splash screen. So yeah, I just got to reformat the text. I think I'm doing good. Nice. And I think that's a good place as any to actually give this stream an ending. So the next thing for me to do is, off camera, I'm going to have lunch. A nice curry that I made yesterday. Beef curry with potatoes and rice. And yeah, it's really good. And then I'll just do a little bit of cleaning up, do that formatting text. I'll do that off camera. And maybe just a little bit of refactoring. I'll be back this afternoon for another stream. I think I'm feeling good enough. I got some Benadryl in these halls that are working rather well. And I think I'm pretty much done messing with the display code. I'm really happy with what's happening. Like I said, I just want to get that text maybe formatted a bit better on the splash screen. And like I said, that splash screen is actually taken from the Absolute Beginner's Guide to TFT LCD displays by Arduino. There's a link in the description in my video, my stream video here. There's a link to this page. It has some pre-designed templates that are actually really fun to use that you can use as a good starting point. Bodmer's TFT, I've talked about that. There's links in the description to this. So when you're using an ESP32 microcontroller and you want to have a display for pretty much any type of oh, he's done an interesting setup. Look at this, STM32's in here now. This is new. So and he's added PS RAM in here by default. Oh, there's good stuff afoot in Bodmer's TFT ESP library. Now, I've been dying to get my hands on one of them. Let's have a look at that. ESP32 PS RAM modules. Every time I've gone to look, they've been sold out. This isn't the store page. Anyways, there are these little Surface SMD components that give you like 8 megabytes of additional RAM space for the ESP32, and they're SPI interfaced. So yeah, I really want to use one of those. And it looks like, as I was saying, he's got some interesting stuff going on in here. What is this? I'm going to do a search here for what the hell did they do here? PS RAM. No, not a bookmark. Added PS RAM switch. What is he doing here? Sprites will... So he's added a flag in here to automatically use the PS RAM for sprites. So, wow. Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, of course it takes a bit longer to render. It is SPI, but that's not the point. Ah, nice. Oh, that's sweet. What else is going on in here? Now supports 4 bits per pixel.
The angels are coming for you, but listen, your life could depend on this. Don't blink.
Hang on, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Alright, people. Anyways, I got a phone call here. Looks like I gotta go, so I will catch you all later. This is a good place to end. Anyways. I will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Be back in a couple hours.
Shut up and sit down.